So people who are logging on to our YouTube streaming, if you are an LSC member, what I'd like for you to do is go to your email, because if you're an LSC member, you are logged on to the actual meeting with us, and that link you will find on our agenda. I'm going to share my screen so that you can all see what I am talking about. I'd like to welcome everybody who's joining us on YouTube via the stream. If you are an LSC member and you mistakenly went to our YouTube stream, you need to go to the calendar invite and simply look at the agenda where you will find a link to your actual Google Meet link for your participation in our meeting. So again, if you go to the agenda found in the invite, if you are an LSC member, please go to the agenda where you will find a link to our actual meeting as an LSC member. But if you are on our YouTube channel viewing the LSC meeting via the stream, thank you and hold tight. We're going to give our local school council members some time to join the meeting. Welcome, Ms. Woods. I see that you joined us. Can you just test your microphone? Say hello.
Good evening, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hello, Ms. Majas. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for testing out your microphone. We're welcoming people who are joining us on our stream via our YouTube channel, and we are also welcoming our local school council members as they join us on our Google Meet link. Thank you, Ms. Malhouse, for joining us. We'll get started in a few, giving our LSC members an opportunity to join. I was notified, just an FYI, and I know we'll go through roll call in a bit. I was notified by some of our LSC members who will not be able to attend, but I'd like to give everybody an opportunity to see if who can join us today. And I'm hoping that we can get quorum, but if we do not, we will proceed with sharing some information and move forward. Welcome, Ms. Montoya. Thank you for joining us. We're giving our LSC members a few more minutes to join, but thank you for joining us.
Of course. Hi, everybody.
Again, if you're joining us on our YouTube channel and streaming the LSC meeting, I appreciate your participation and in being part of our audience. We are just giving our LSC members maybe a couple more minutes and we will get started with the meeting. Okay, I will be calling the meeting to order. Our chairperson, Marisela Mateos, is unable to join us today, but I will be calling the meeting to order at 5:09 p.m. I noticed Mr. Asensio, one of our teacher reps, is not on the call. And so what I'll do is I will begin with roll call. Marisela Mateos is not joining us today. Roida Ahmad, I do not see her on. Lawanda Jones is not on. Mary McCann, is she on? She had emailed me letting me know she was going to join.
She just joined.
Oh, Mary, welcome. We're just taking roll call. Thank you for joining us. Santa Montoya is here. Ruth Cruz, one of our community reps, said she was not going to be able to join us today. Israel Flores said he was not going to be able to join us today. Was Mr. Asensio able to join? I see Ms. Malhas is joining us. Our non-teacher staff rep, Sabrina Woods, is here. Thank you for joining us. Is our student rep, Anwar Ahmad, on? And I am the principal, Anthony Escamilla. I am on. So with this, we have 5 of our LSC board members present. We cannot establish quorum, but we will proceed with our with information. So just an FYI. We will not be able to vote for today since we are not able to establish quorum, but you have, again, access to our current agenda and our last minutes for our last meeting minutes. So again, if you go, this is just for the LSC members, if you go to the invite, you will have access to today's agenda and our meeting from March and the minutes there. So in the near future, if we need to call for an emergency meeting, we will have access to that there. So again, with not being able to establish quorum, we will not be able to vote and approve things today, but we will be able to cover some information that I wanted to convey to you all. And before my report, I'm going to try to follow the way the agenda is traditionally set up. So before we actually get to my report, I just wanted to open it up to our LSE members for ideas or input that you'd like to get across, information that you'd like to get across, questions or suggestions. And let me also begin to record the meeting because this is important. I will begin to record now. So again, we called the meeting to order at 5:09. We weren't able to establish quorum, so we will not be able to vote today on or approve things. But I will open it up to our current LSC board members who were able to attend today to share any ideas, ask any questions, or provide any input during this time. And is there anyone that would like to share, ask questions, or give input? On my screen, I see Miss Woods here listed as the first LSE member, so I will start with her. Miss Woods, do you have anything that you'd like to get across?
No, not at this moment. Thank you.
Miss Melhas?
Not at this time either, thank you.
Miss Montoya?
No, not at this time. Sorry, I'm driving at the same time.
Okay. Miss McCann? And you're on mute. And if you all, when I begin to talk as well and share, I will ask for your input or your suggestions yet again at a later time. But Ms. McCann, do you have anything that you wanted to get across?
No, just a question, if there's time later, if there's any sense of how the recent Illinois announcements on vaccination availability will affect the students. If there's any, I know it's very early to maybe have news on that.
Okay, yeah, no, that's a good question, especially since these vaccines are now open for people beginning in the age of 16, at the age of 16. I know that in the news, and nothing has been relayed to me as a principal within CPS, but I understand that within the news, CPS is working on trying to make those vaccines available to students. As soon as I find out that information, I will begin to relay the availability of those vaccines as an option for our families here at Foreman. But at this point, I have not been, no one has shared that information with me, but that's a very good question, and I will keep our Foreman community posted when I receive it. So I will begin to share my report that I had prepared here for you all. And again, because this is more of an informal meeting now, it's not our formal LSC meeting, and we will not be able to vote. I do want, you can interrupt me at any time if you have questions. If the LSC has questions, or LSC members who joined our meeting. I also have, I invited a guest today to talk a little bit about some of our work that we are engaging with in the near future. And we'll announce Ms. Smagash in a little bit, because I did invite her to share some information with us. So again, welcome. So I just wanted to share some of the things that are new and what's next. So we did welcome back our students with the help of our teachers and counselors. We did a lot of chalk art to welcome back our students for the first day of in-person learning. We had about 25% of our families indicating that they have opted in for in-person teaching and learning. That was around 150 students of our population. We hosted a couple of town halls, one for our staff and one for our families, to keep them informed of all safety protocols that we have in the building. Several teachers and students that have been participating in athletics helped us create videos that we put out there for our students, just to remind them of different safety procedures and some of our more basic rules within the building. And that was a lot of fun to work with some of our athletes to put those videos together for other students. And so we were able to provide our families with some key information about the return to in-person teaching and learning. We do remain open to our families who change their mind if they've opted in and they prefer to remain at home and they change their mind. We are working with those families to make the switch, as well as we are working with families who are trying to opt in to in-person learning. It's taking us a little bit of time to work with those families, as CPS had us follow a particular model depending on the number of students who opted in. But we are working with both sets of families who either changed their mind and want to go back to remote learning, and working with those families who want to work or send their students for in-person learning. So our current model has us in the building 4 days out of the week, 2 days, Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday we have a remote learning day, and then Thursday and Friday we're back in the building. So 4 days out of the 5 days we are in person for the group that opted in. Currently, we are working on strengthening our partnership with Wright College, but I'm also working with our admin team and our counseling team to see if we can continue to strengthen our partnerships with other universities, to continue to strengthen our academic pathways here at Foreman. Recently, we engaged with Wright College to figure out long-term if there is some room to establish an academic pathway that'll help our students earn an associate's degree while they are in high school. And not, although it is an awesome goal to work towards, we know that it's not going to necessarily happen overnight. And we were working with Wright College, who is a very strategic partner and a very, we are very thankful for our partnership with Wright College, because they help get dual credit approval to our teachers, and help us provide students with college credit while they're in high school. What we're trying to do is plan long term, so that hopefully we can get our academic pathways in a place where maybe we can offer an associate's degree in the future for our students. And right now, one of the goals that we have with Wright College is to offer several certificates, which roughly means if a student can earn 15 college credits, they would earn a college certificate from Wright College. And what we're trying to do, this is not something that would happen again overnight, but would happen in the near future with our continued partnership with Wright College, and putting things in place so that eventually we would be able to offer those certificates. We want to aim at small goals and take baby steps towards that more prestigious degree. And so we're hoping that, again, that in the future we would be able to offer something like that to our students. But if we don't start talking about it, it's never going to happen. So I'm very appreciative of Wright College and meeting with us to at least begin to lay the groundwork. But we're also considering other partnerships with DePaul and Loyola to see how else we can continue to strengthen those partnerships. And we could just keep the message of post-secondary achievement within our with our students and with their families alive and obvious, because that's the whole goal, is whether or not our students attend a college or a university or trade school, we want them to be successful after they leave Foreman. And so we want to provide them with options. Another thing I wanted to inform you on, as we did not meet, or we did not have quorum today, we may have to be considering a special meeting, just because I know that budgets will be released soon by the district, and I want to be able to inform our LFC of what those budgets look like for our school. And just giving you the heads up, we may have to call for a special meeting just to continue keeping our LSC in the loop about what that budget looks like and how it's going to impact our school overall. I do want to convey a call for a grassroots effort for improving our school. So for our LSC members, or even for anyone joining us on the YouTube call, please communicate with me if you have connections, if you have ideas on trying to get our facilities improved here at Foreman. Ideally, one of the or two areas that desperately need improvement are a locker room area. And I hope that in the near future, we can get our locker room for our students completely redone. And we also want to address our athletic field in the back of the school. We think that'll help us continue to draw students to our school, but it'll also provide them with a needed upgrade to our facilities out back, and give our athletes an awesome place to practice and to grow within their athletic program and athletic skill development. And so we also know that with athletics and with more of an interest in athletics, students have more options for scholarships as well. So I'm trying to get the ball rolling for any type of grassroots effort that can bring more of an immediate improvement to these two major areas of our school. So as you may recall, recent improvements to our school have been in our auditorium and our science labs. And I am open to ideas that will help us bring improvements to these other two areas. I'm just going to pause right there before I introduce our special guest, in case anyone has any questions, suggestions right now that they'd like to bring up. Any LSC member. And if you don't, just, pocket it. Oh, Miss McCann, did you have something?
Yeah, since it deals with athletics, I mean, I'm wondering if we could get one of the Chicago teams to partner with us, like maybe the soccer team, Chicago Fire. Or, I mean, I know the Cubs are pretty heavily hit on all the time, but that might be something that we could look at, or some of the women's teams, one of the universities. If we could, I don't know, because it seems to me that you're correct that improving the sports area does really improve the kids' possibilities of getting that kind of scholarship. So
Yeah, I love that idea. I know that in the early 2000s, Foreman, this is when I started here at Foreman, or did my student teaching, we went to the city championships for soccer, and I know we still have a really good soccer team, but we were, and we've always had a draw and an interest in soccer. So I think your suggestions around looking towards the public relations of these more popular professional teams is a great idea. So I'll definitely look into it. If you have any idea of phone numbers that I can dial, or emails or websites that you think are key for us to visit, please let me know, and then we'll look into them. So again, thank you for those ideas. If you have any more, if you run into some ideas, or suddenly you have an idea that you want to share, obviously feel free to connect with me and do that level of sharing. Since arriving at Foreman, I knew that we needed to really strengthen our academic pathways, meaning that I really wanted the learning experiences from freshman year to senior year to make sense for our students and our families. I wanted our teachers to grow more and more confident in the curriculum that they were developing and executing with our students. And so right now, we still are in the midst of continuing to work on our unit plans within our departments, our scope and sequence. And scope and sequence simply means the skills and state standards that we decide we want to teach and when we're going to teach them. And so those things have to make sense to our respective content area departments, so that we continue to build upon previous skills. All right, we're not going to teach a junior or senior skills that we would teach a freshman or a sophomore. So that is what a scope and sequence is, and this is what our departments, all of our teachers are currently working on to continue to strengthen. And with that, we want to bring support with key partnerships that can help our departments continue to think of engaging units and think of things that we can interweave with our curriculum to continue to strengthen it. And I invited Miss Margie Smagash here, one of our social science teachers, our civics lead teacher, to do a little bit of sharing. But before I open it up for her to share, I wanted to talk a little bit about some of our pre-pandemic work. I know that again, long term, if we continue to help our forming community improve, we will see an improvement within the school. So I definitely believe in it taking a village to help nurture our students, and but it starts with also helping our village. And so we worked hard in becoming designated a democracy school. And what that means is that we get support from an organization called Democracy Schools that helps provide us with funding, helps us provide us with professional development for our teachers, and helps our teachers think about ways to interweave civic engagement, or an understanding of what it means to live within a democracy, within their unit plans. And why is this important? Well, it's important because what we know is we're producing students that are going to go back into a society, and we want them to be productive citizens. And so and we also know that a public school education is the first experience for all of our students to be indoctrinated into a democratic process and civic engagement. It's their very first experience. And so partnering up with Democracy Schools and opening up opportunities for our teachers to continue to think about how to create authentic learning experiences in their classrooms was important to me and was important to a lot of our teachers. And simultaneously, Ms. Magash was also being trained by our district within their civics curriculum, and she helped spearhead our application process to Democracy Schools. She helped spearhead our efforts in thinking through how we were going to use this partnership to our advantage, and that led to other great things. We are now partnering up with other, like I said, other universities to continue to help our teachers, to help our students. And I invited Ms. Magash to just share with us some of those experiences and some things that she's looking forward to and participating in, specifically with working with DePaul and continuing to help our school in civic engagement. So Margie, take it away.
Thank you. Okay. So thank you, Mr. Escamilla, for inviting me to talk about this. It's really exciting and important to me because for 2 years, I've been teaching civics. I taught it, you know, in the classroom last year when we were in the classroom, and taught it this year. And kids really are excited about what we're learning and are excited about what it means to be a citizen, and excited about what it means to be empowered, and excited about what they can do in the future to help make change in our world. So working with the social science and civics department downtown, we've been thinking about ways to get kids civically engaged. And I am so excited about the fact that our students at Foreman are really, really excited about being a part of making a change in the world. So we now have an opportunity to network and work with DePaul University. They have asked us to reach out to their pre-service learning teachers to talk about how to bring civic engagement in their classroom, not only in social science, but in math and in science and in literature and in fine arts. And how can you bring that learning and make it authentic? And when we talk about authentic, we talk about ways in which kids can connect to what they're learning to make it something that's meaningful to them, how they feel like they can make a difference in the world. And that's the work that we've been doing for 2 years. So we have a couple of opportunities that are going on right now where we're meeting with people who are prominent in the United States of America, not just at DePaul, but across the Americas, who are helping us to help our students to be civically engaged and what opportunities they can have and who they can connect with and who they can, you know, write to and apply for scholarships and things like that. And we're doing this in our civic classrooms. And the high level of engagement and the high level of success that we're seeing in civics is because these kids are able to connect to their learning. So I'm really excited about that. And over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be working with DePaul and I will be speaking to pre-service teachers about how to bring civic engagement into their classrooms and opportunities for kids to connect to their communities, to talk to their families, to talk to other outside organizations, and how to be civically, you know, engaged, and how to dig within themselves to be activists and on issues that are extremely important to them. It is something, civics isn't a class. What we've embraced and what the Department of Civics downtown wants and what Mr. Escamilla wants and what I want is that it isn't a class that you take. It's an experience that you have in life. And these kids are experiencing that, and they're putting themselves on the line. They are challenging themselves. They are asking themselves questions. They're collaborating with each other. And it is a really beautiful experience. And I'm very proud that Mr. Escamilla is allowing me to bring these experiences to the students of Foreman, in that the work that they're doing doesn't just happen for this year, but it's going to be something that's important to them for the rest of their lives and how they can be civically engaged. So working with DePaul University, working with the University of Pennsylvania, working with these leaders who are the leaders of civic engagement and communication and how to get our kids involved across the United States is extremely exciting. And our kids are embracing that learning. And, you know, we want to explore that with other areas at Foreman with, like I said, science and math and literature. So it's really exciting. And I don't know if you have any questions for me. Being a democracy school is opening up these opportunities for us. And this, you know, in light of what happened today with the verdict of Derek Chauvin and our pre-conversations today on what to expect and how we're going to feel about the verdict, not just thinking about our own bias, but what it means for the United States and our citizens, and especially people of color, Black and brown people, and everyone. So, so that's what goes on in civics, and I'm really excited about where we're going and the things that we're planning for this year and the years to come. Yeah.
Just to give you a sense of what I mean and what we mean with authentic learning experiences, it means that students are going through the motions of their learning. they're not limited to the walls of their classroom and just staying within their classroom. Ms. Smagash was key to bring our elections. When we were in person before the pandemic, she was key to bringing the elections to life, where we had mock elections and our students played the roles of the presidential candidates, and they actually took it all very seriously in debating one another in our auditorium. So again, an authentic learning experience. She helped continue to our students help inform our community around the importance of the census 2020. And so again, bringing it to life, not just keeping it in the classroom, but bringing it to the community. When we were actually voting for in our last presidential elections, our students helped with the voting process and were part of their community and helping really live democracy. And so that's what we mean by authentic learning experiences. And so now if we can take it to the next level where other departments are interweaving these experiences, we think that we're going to continue to develop people that we put back into our Belmont-Cragen community that will be making a difference, and we're going to reap the benefits as a school.
And just one last thing that I wanted to piggyback off of that is that, we in our community, we have to educate our community, highly Hispanic, and people have prejudices and they're scared to fill out the census and what it's going to mean, and scared to vote and what it's going to mean. What is my vote going to matter? But these kids took ownership and communicated and did all kinds of service learning projects about why it's important to vote, why it's important to conduct the census. Even if I can't vote, how can I participate? So being participatory citizens and setting them up for their lives to be advocates for themselves. We are teaching our kids to advocate for themselves and be ready, not just for college and career, but to be ready for life. And that's what civic engagement is all about. It's about how to be a citizen, how to advocate for yourself, and how to care about the issues that you care about and to get the word out. So I'm really excited with the work that we've done so far and really excited about moving forward in the future. I think it's just going to make, kids want to come to Foreman and be here and be excited about everything. And that's about what I wanted to say. If you had any questions. I love it.
Thank you so much, Ms. Smagash. I wanted to go on to sharing some school-wide data with everybody because it continues to improve, and this is what we are in it for, is to continue to help our students achieve academically. And so there's a lot of numbers here, and I want to help point out what it is that you're looking at. And so if you can see this little arrow here, this is representing our 9th grade pass rate. And so we have 95.33% of our freshman students passing their classes. That's some great success there out of our 9th grade class and our 9th grade teachers. This is what we want to see, but this didn't happen overnight. This happened with the strong efforts and support of our teachers in developing new grading practices and our grading policy. This is also thanks to our MTSS, our multi-tiered system of support team that is led by Ms. Malhas, who is one of our LSC members, in putting systems in place to make sure that all of our teachers remain cognizant of the different levels of support that our students need. So there's in-class support where if I'm a teacher, I can immediately provide support to my students in front of me, and I can manage it. There is tier 2 support, which happens outside of the classroom, and it can happen with students being tutored or small there's a small group support of students. And then there's tier 3, very individualized support for students with very specific needs. And so we are very happy with our improvements overall, and we look forward to continuing to build on our success. This next level here is our 10th grade, where we have 72.4% of our sophomores passing all of their classes. At the 11th grade, we have 79.98% of all of our students passing all of their classes. And the 12th grade here, we have 79.21% passing all of their classes. And this is at the end of the third quarter. So we still have this fourth quarter for our students to continue to make progress and address any work that they need to turn in, or projects that they need to continue to work on, or exams that they need to continue to study and improve their overall exam scores. On the bottom, I wanted to show a little bit of our freshman on track rate, and they call it freshman on track because there's a lot of research done by the University of Chicago that points to the success of students' graduation rates based on how they do in their freshman year. If they end up failing classes their freshman year, they are less likely to graduate on time and be successful. So the University of Chicago has worked with CPS to really study this data and pay attention to the data. And so what I wanted to show here is there are different schools here that belong to the Northwest Network, which is, we're part of Network 14. And so these are some of the schools within Network 14, so that you can see that last year in week 25, or school year 2020, our freshman on track rate was at 54.4%. This school year, during our week 25, we saw a huge improvement to our freshman on track rate, where we went from 54% to 74%. Week 29, which was right before the end of the third quarter, we continued to see a 4% jump, roughly, and we were at a 78%. So we were increasing. Now, if you look at the rest of the schools on this graph, you can say, well, why aren't we in the green? We're just simply not there yet, right? Are we working towards that? We definitely are. And but I just want to point out that we are progressing, we are improving, and this is what we want to see out of our students. And this is, again, a lot of thanks to the work of our teachers, the work of our teams here at Foreman, from our instructional leadership team to our MTSS team to our culture and climate team. We have several teams here, including even our security, who have taken on a new title for themselves, calling themselves restorative coaches. It really, everyone seems to really be adopting the approach that it takes a village to raise a child. And I'm very happy that although we're not in the green, we are going to work towards that. We continue to see progress here at Foreman, and this is what we want to see. I do want to mention to our local school members that there are ballots here. Although Israel Flores, one of our community reps, was unable to make today's meeting, he is running for the LSC advisory board for the district, and there are, as LSC members, we are able to vote for members who join the LSC advisory board, or FCCA, for the Northwest region. And I casted my vote. I know Ms. Woods casted her vote, and so all LSC members are eligible to vote. So if you stop by Foreman, I can hand you the ballot and you can vote, and I can submit it to LSC downtown. And so again, I just wanted to remind everybody that Israel Flores from our personal LSC is running for that position. I also wanted to congratulate our student rep, Anwar Ahmad, who ran again for our LSC student rep position, and she won her student rep position. So she's going to continue in her seat as our LSC rep. Although she was unable to make it today, she did win her her running for the LSC seat. So I wanted to congratulate her as well. That's all I have for my report for all of you today. I'd like to again open it up for anyone on the LSC that has any questions, comments, and would like to unmute and chat.
I had a question, but I'm not sure if you had the answer for it. I was wondering when the process begins for the principal selection. I assumed that after the last meeting, we were going to get an email about training, but we haven't. So just wondering when that starts, or if there's something required of us.
Yeah, so I understand what I understand is that Veronica Dearden Jackson, who supports LSCs in our network, is working with with Maricela Mateos, the chairperson, to organize that training. So I know that she's already began reaching out, at least this past week, and so I think it's going to be soon. I'm hoping that it's soon, but I know that she's been working with her this past week to try to organize that. So although I don't have an exact date, I know that they've been reaching out to Ms. Mateos, and they will be organizing or scheduling that training soon. I'm not sure exactly how that works, whether they sort of take a poll of all LSC members to see your availability, or if it's something sort of self-paced. But I know that they've gotten the ball rolling. So I'm hoping you hear from LSC Downtown pretty soon.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
And so if there are no more comments or questions, we can conclude the meeting, and just thank everybody for your time. And I will keep you posted if we need to call for any type of special meeting in the near future, with the budgets, knowing that the budgets are going to be released soon. So I can keep you informed. Other than that, if anyone wants to unmute and share anything, if Ms. Montoya, if you want to share anything about our PAC, what you've worked on in the recent past, and what's to come. I'm not sure if Ms. Zaki is here, who can share a little bit about what transpired in our last BAC meeting, or what's to come. You can feel free to unmute and share.
I can share for BAC and also PAC if Miss Montoya is still driving or can't jump on. But with BAC last
Yeah,
month.
sorry, I am still driving.
Yes, with BAC last month, the reopening plan was presented in Spanish to all of the BAC members and any member who wanted to attend that meeting and hear that presentation in Spanish. So that's primarily what happened in the BAC meeting. And then with PAC, we have a meeting today at 7 p.m. But last month, we discussed where to move funds in our budget, and we discussed ideas like parent training, purchasing technology, especially for our PAC members. And I think actually that's also what BAC might use their funds for, purchasing laptops so that future, so our chairperson, co-chair, secretary, et cetera, can have technology. We also discussed other ideas such as a book club and other ways that we can continue to kind of meet together as parents and create some camaraderie and support our students. And other ideas, we had Miss Pamela Price, who's the head of the director of Parent University, met with us last month, and she just discussed quite a bit about Parent University, and all the opportunities they can provide to PACs. And that was last month, and we have another meeting tonight at 7.
Great. Thank you for the update. Anyone else on the LSC that would want to share or ask questions or make any suggestions before we end the meeting? Okay. Well, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. And like I mentioned before, I will keep you posted if we need to schedule a special meeting or call for a special meeting. But again, a big thank you for everyone who was able to join us. A big thank you for those who were able to join us on our YouTube streaming channel. So thank you again for your time. And I look forward to sharing more in the near future. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
You only got one hand, right?
Yeah, he only let me get one. Okay.